Dreamworks did this better 12 years ago. I'm sorry. Welcome to the non-spoiler section of this review of Dreamworks' new movie, The Bad Guys. If you're looking for spoilers, there are timestamps on the timeline. Also, like and subscribe for more reviews. So, The Bad Guys features a group of predators who have been outcast from society, and together they channel their negative emotions into crimes and just causing general chaos for everyone else. So, it's like Zootopia if the predators actually gave into their stereotypes. And let's just get this out of the way, the movie's visuals are obviously stunning. Everyone sees that, everyone knows that. The action scenes are vibrant and kinetic. I really love the idea of bringing together the best parts of both 2D and 3D animation, something that Spider-Verse really pioneered. This movie also does a great job of establishing the overall tone and atmosphere. It's very clear that this movie is heavily inspired by the Ocean's movies. And I have to say that I really enjoyed the opening of this movie. Instead of jumping right into the big car chase, the film starts with a casual conversation between Wolf and Snake. It's a really smooth long take that oozes with style. I love it because it's such a simple yet mature thing to include in a movie targeted towards kids. I should also point out that all of the characters here are likable enough. They each have their charming quirks, and surprisingly, I think Awkwafina did a good job here as Webbs the Tarantula. I should have really known that her distinct voice lends itself to animation. And the standout characters here are definitely Wolf and Miss Foxington. Wolf is this very sly, thief type that you love to see work, and Miss Foxington plays off of him in nice ways. But I'm sad to say that besides everything I mentioned prior, this movie doesn't have much substance to offer. Let's stick to the characters. I'm not giving away who the villain is, but the villain was incredibly weak in this movie. Like, you could see it a mile away. There were no qualities about this character that I found interesting or intimidating, because this movie really hits some of the most generic and safe beats possible for a story like this. It's just the main characters begin their story, main characters almost achieve their goals, main characters are tricked by villain, main characters are sad, main characters work up the motivation to triumphantly return. And because of how weak the villain is, I never really believed we were at the low point of the movie. Like, during the low point, I was like, really? That's the best this villain can dish out? But yeah, it's unfortunate that a movie about bad guys doesn't have a quality bad guy. Now, what I'm about to say should probably be in the spoiler section of this video, but I think this is such a vital point that I'm saying it now. So leave if you don't want any spoilers at all. I know it's really short, I'm sorry about that, but I think even though you don't want spoilers, you should probably listen to this. With that said, let's rate the movie right now. Would I rewatch The Bad Guys? No, unfortunately not. Great animation, okay characters, but just a poor story overall. Okay, here we go. Now, the greatest weakness that makes this movie worse than similar stories such as Despicable Me and Megamind is that the characters have no compelling reason to turn fully good. All three of these movies begin with the bad guy pretending to be good so they can get their way, but they end up making a genuine turn because they discover something more important. It's a common screenwriting technique that centers around the protagonist's wants versus needs. At the beginning of any story, the protagonist thinks they want something. It's very tangible to them. They can develop ways to get what they want. Their need is something they've been missing all along. So Gru from Despicable Me wants to be the greatest villain in the world via stealing the moon, but he needs the love of his daughters. Megamind loves attention, thus he wants to be a feared villain, but he needs to be a beloved hero. Now, both of these villains pursued their needs because of love. Love is selfless. Why does Mr. Wolf turn good? Is it love? He thinks Diane would be proud if he turned good, but Diane turns out to be a bad guy as well. Well, does Wolf turn good because it feels good? That's a selfish reason. Captain America and Superman are not good because they enjoy the feeling of doing what's right. The closest thing this movie gets to a proper motivation for the bad guys' moral transformation is their care for each other as friends, and that's fine, but I think another big issue with this movie is that the group, save for Snake, seem pretty morally flexible. But yeah, they complain when trying to do good things, but when it came time to actually turn good, they kinda just went with it. It's fine to keep that, but the main change I would make is give Wolf the characterization Snake had. Make Wolf the one most resistant to change as the rest of the group slowly turns good. Then have the villain capture Wolf's friends and he has to save them. You would definitely have to make Wolf a much less likable character during the setup, but I think it would have made for a better movie overall. And plus, that's what the save the cat moments are for. Speaking of which, this movie took the save the cat rule very seriously. I guess you guys are getting 2 screenwriting lessons in one video. How fun. So, saving the cat is a screenwriting term coined by Blake Snyder, because honestly, not every protagonist is going to be a relatable angel like Harry Potter or Peter Parker. So, when you're writing a character that the audience might have a poor first impression of, such as Aladdin, another thief, you have to have him perform a good deed out of the kindness of his heart.
And now, esteemed Effendi, we feast, alright. Here. Go on, take it.
This way, the audience can connect to your morally gray protagonist during the setup. And I repeat, during the setup of the movie. The bad guys literally has Wolf save a cat towards the middle of the film, and the film treats it like some transformative moment for Wolf. Not only that, but somehow Wolf's cat rescue transfers his light in the public eye to the rest of the crew, who did nothing during the live stream. This is another area where the movie is lacking. More time needed to be invested in a genuine transformation being made. I love the scene in Megamind where Megamind is doing good things for the slightly wrong reasons, but you can see him opening up and growing. And the bad guys sorely needed more scenes like that. But yeah, that's my overall spiel on the movie. Despite everything I said, if you want to check out the movie, go ahead and check it out. Like, if the animation interested you, if you're a fan of really good animation and visuals, I think it is worth it just for that. Remember, my rating is I would not rewatch it, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't give it a try or watch it. I don't regret watching it the first time. Ultimately, it's up to you, and I've got one last thing to say. The henchman to Professor Marmalade was horrifying. This guy is so scary to me. I don't know why. He reminds me of the farmer from Shaun the Sheep. This henchman design for Marmalade was horrifying. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.